A whole new era of Transformers kicks off right here, right now. So let's talk about it in this video. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Transformers number 25. This is a new book from Image Skybound. Uh, I am very excited to talk about this, a brand new era. Before we get into this, if you are not caught up on everything that's going on, I have a separate video on the channel that tells you everything you need to know about Transformers so you can get into this new issue. It's an oversized anniversary issue, so it's very, very cool. So let's get into it. Issue number 25 of Transformers is written by Robert Kirkman with art by Dan Mora. We also have art by Jorge Corona, which is really interesting. I'll get into how that applies into this. Rose Wooten on letters, uh, and of course Mike Spicer coming back for colors. So we got a lot of the team, has changed, but also we have that constant of Mike Spicer and Rose Wooten working on this. In this video, the Energon Universe will never be the same as the Autobots and Decepticons kick off the most surprising new chapter in the war on Earth. Optimus Prime and the remaining Autobots must join forces with unlikely allies in order to protect their adopted planet. But Prime's next challenge lies closer to home than he ever imagined. And what is the fate of the Decepticons? The creative team of Robert Kirkman, Dan Mora, kick off a new direction for Transformers that will be more than meets the eye. So, Robert Kirkman does something very smart, especially because they are including Jorge Corona, right? Jorge Corona was the artist that took over after Daniel Warren Johnson finished his first original arc. And they do this transition into this world where the first part of the story, it's a Decepticon story drawn by Jorge Corona. So you get to see everything that's going on, everything that you would want to know, and how things ended after issue 24 and that big blow off battle. And then we kick off into the Dan Mora pages that really focus on the Autobots and them trying to recover, also trying to come up with these new allies. I think Robert Kirkman does such a good job at unfolding this, and still giving us that humanity that we've been seeing from Optimus Prime all this series, which is very interesting for a robot. We get some sweet, tender moments, but also a lot of heartbreaking stuff. Dan Mora's art is impeccable, as is Corona's. Like they are both. I almost wish that Corona would continue to only draw Decepticon stuff while Dan Mora focuses on Autobots, and maybe that's what's going to happen. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked too far ahead on how involved Jorge Corona will be, but I don't see his name in the next issue. So this might be just a transition for this oversized issue, which is great. I think Jorge Corona probably deserves a much well deserved break from this. So either way, this is a very well put together book. It gives us a really cool story. The consistent colors by Mike Spicer, along with the letters by Rose Wooten, make this feel cohesive, and they ease you into the transition from one creative team onto the other. But you can definitely notice a shift. I think Robert Kirkman has a very specific plan. He has very specific characters that he wants to play with, and there's a twist in the last few pages that will change everything that's going on, including the dynamic of the Autobots, probably in a way that we've never really seen, at least nothing that I've ever seen in the little bit of Transformers media that I've consumed over the years, which really is only some of the movies and a little bit of the comics from IDW prior to this. So either way, very exciting new start. Highly recommend you check this out. Great jumping on point. Even if you haven't read the other stuff, I think this is a place where you can kind of take up and you really get all the information that you need. So let's go take a look at a lot of the. There's a lot of variant covers for this. I see 47 images loaded up onto this. I'm sure a lot of them will be kind of repeats and foils and virgin covers, but either way, it's always really cool to get new Transformer covers. So let's check it out. So of course have the first main cover by David Nakayama, which Nakayama is a great pick for the main cover. So really I like that they picked an artist that uh his style really works for this. Although I am surprised that it's not Dan Mora, but maybe Dan Mora has a different cover. Let's check it out. All right, we have this 616 comics variant by Marco Turini. This is a foil version, so I'm sure we'll see it a couple more times. Yeah, we have this other same concept. We have this Afshari Comics Big Texas Comic Con by Leno Hernandez. Not familiar with this artist, but their style really works for the Transformers, especially with the Decepticons here. I like it. Uh, it gives me a lot of the same vibes that you get from Corona and Warren Johnson. Very cool. We have this Big Alpaca Comics Big Texas Comic Con 2025 by Jonathan Uribe. And then we have this uh, God Clutch Godtail eBay Live comic pack connecting cover. So it looks like this one there's a lot more covers. I'm not familiar with Godtail either. This is a Bill Sienkiewicz New York Comic Con 2025 exclusive from eBay Live. So you can probably stop maybe by the eBay booth at New York Comic Con and check if they have this. Another big clutch New York 2025 eBay Live cover for Megatron. And then the same cover here with the trade dress and then the black and white version. I think this is the connecting part to the other one we saw earlier. That's very cool. eBay Live getting into all these comics here, and then here you can see both. So these are the face-off connected covers. Those are very cool. We have this Mark Brooks cover. This is the Virgin variant of that for New York Comic Con. If you're at New York Comic Con, you're making out like a bandit with all these covers. This is the one with the trade dress. Then we have Pete Carroll with the Virgin variant of very similar to what we saw from Megatron. And then of course, so these probably go together as well. The Pete Carroll ones with Megatron and Optimus Prime. Suspiria Vilches, maybe. I'm not sure how to say that last name, but this is another New York Comic Con exclusive. Uh, Big Time Collectibles by John Yang, who I've met here at Dallas Comic Con. Miko Suyan as well from Big Time Collectibles. This is Tyler Kirkham. You can probably check this out at it is for comic inspiration, but I'm sure he might have some at his own shop. And this is also a connected cover. So as you can see, we have the fight between Megatron and Optimus, and then switch them back around. Very cool. Daniel Warren Johnson does do another cover, which is also very exciting. Um, Jorge Corona does his own cover as well, which I believe this is also a connecting cover. We have Kale New with the 1 in 25 ratio cover. Dan Mora doing a 1 in 50 design for Jazz. Oh man, if he's gonna do design variants for all these, it's gonna get nuts. Jay Lee, who is an artist that I would not expect to see on Transformers, but I'm very excited that he does. We have the Autobots blank cover, the Decepticons black cover, and then we see the David Nakayama foil variant. This is the die cut cover by John Armour. Then we have this Eric Canete die cut cover as well. So this you can see in the back. You'll probably be able to see the full picture once you open the book. East Coast Comics. Not sure who that one's by. Martin Savala here. That was probably the same one as the previous artist. Alan Qua with all the Autobots. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones that I've seen. The Akira style Javier Fernandez. Then we have the Chris Campagna variant. Mike Mayhew for another New York Comic Con exclusive. And then the one with the trade dress, the one without the trade dress. Noma's Comics, another exclusive by Hector Trunick. So many artists that I've never heard of. That's so cool. Chris Marchman. Chris Marchman again with the trade dress. Who is this? Jason Howard, I think, who was an artist in the main run. Livio Ramon Deli. And then we are back to the main Nakayama cover. So I think the lesson here is if you're going to New York Comic Con 2025, you're going to make out like a bandit. If you're looking for Transformers covers, you can check out all those other retailers that I mentioned, the Evil Life booth, Big Time Collectibles, all these other ones. 616 Comics, I think, is a really big one too. So there you have it. what an amazing book, and I'm very excited to see where we go from here in the series. Really cool stuff. So if you have read Transformers number 25 from Image Skybound, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know which cover you picked up. If you attended New York Comic Con, please share with me which variant you were able to pick up, because as you can see, there's a lot of really cool ones, and I'll be having FOMO at home. Thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live, and I can't wait to see where the Energon Universe goes from here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and Autobots, time to roll out. Bye bye.